We've all had it drilled into our heads that 8 hours is the magic number for a great night's sleep. But what if I told you that the real key to waking up feeling fantastic has less to do with hitting that 8 hour mark and everything to do with a simple number you've probably never even thought about?
So, let me ask you this. Have you ever done everything right? I mean, you get a full 8, maybe even 9 hours of sleep, but when that alarm goes off, you feel like you've been hit by a truck. You're groggy, you're in a fog, and you're just slamming that snooze button. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are definitely not alone. It's the super frustrating thing that happens to so many of us. And this is where it gets really weird, right? This is the paradox that messes with everyone. How on earth is it possible that getting less sleep, like 7.5 hours, can leave you feeling sharp and energized, while a full 8 hours makes you feel totally drained? It makes no sense. But believe me, there's a fascinating reason why.
And that brings us to what we can call the 8 hour sleep paradox. See, the secret isn't about just cramming in more hours of sleep. It's not about the quantity, it's all about the quality, and more importantly, the structure of your sleep. The answer isn't how long you sleep, it's how that sleep is organized. The real secret here, the thing that changes everything, is that our bodies run on this powerful, super predictable, natural rhythm every single night. And once you figure out how to work with that rhythm instead of fighting against it, well, that's when everything about how you wake up completely changes. Okay, so let's get into the heart of it. This is the hidden engine that's running the whole show every single night, your 90-minute sleep rhythm. Honestly, this is the absolute key to waking up feeling great. And there it is, the magic number, 90 minutes. You see, when you fall asleep, your brain doesn't just, shut off for 8 hours. No. Instead, it moves through these repeating cycles. And each one of these cycles lasts, you guessed it, about 90 minutes. And each of these 90-minute cycles follows a pretty predictable pattern. You start off in a light sleep, then you drop down into a really deep, restorative sleep. And then you come back up into REM sleep, which is where you do most of your dreaming. Your brain just repeats this whole process all night long, maybe 4 to 6 times. So, if our bodies are so organized, what's going wrong? Why do we feel so awful on some mornings? Well, it's time to meet the villain of our story. There's a scientific reason for that awful groggy feeling. And this enemy has a name: sleep inertia. It's that horrible, foggy, confused state you're in when your alarm clock just brutally rips you out of sleep, especially when you're in the middle of that deep sleep stage. Your brain is basically still half asleep, and man, does it feel like it. So, here's the big aha moment. If waking up in the middle of a cycle is the bad guy that causes that groggy feeling, then the solution is actually incredibly simple. You don't need a fancy gadget or anything. You just need to time your alarm so it wakes you up at the natural end of one of those 90-minute cycles. So how do you actually do this? It's just simple math. First, figure out what time you need to wake up, and then just count backward in 90-minute chunks. So, for example, if you've got to be up at 6:30 a.m., you count back 5 full cycles, which is 7.5 hours, and that means you should be asleep by 11 p.m. See, we're aiming for 5 complete cycles, not just a random number of hours. But getting the timing right is only half the battle. You also have to make sure you can actually fall asleep when you want to. And that means you have to send a clear signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Luckily, there's a really simple, memorable rule for that. It's called the 3-2-1 power down rule. It's super easy. 3 hours before bed, no more food or alcohol. That lets your body rest instead of digest. 2 hours before bed, stop working. Let your mind calm down. And then the big one. 1 hour before bed, no more screens. That blue light from your phone or laptop totally tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. So what this all really boils down to is a huge shift in how we think about sleep. It's about getting away from this obsession with just getting more hours and instead focusing on getting smarter hours by working with your body's natural design, not fighting against it. And that's really the main takeaway here. This is the one idea that can totally reframe how you approach your rest. The goal isn't just to sleep more, it's to sleep smarter. It's all about being efficient and aligning with your own biology. All right, so let's just do a super quick recap of the key takeaways. First, your sleep is built on these 90-minute cycles. Got it. Second, waking up in the middle of a cycle is what causes that awful groggy feeling, sleep inertia. The fix? Time your alarm for the end of a cycle. And finally, you can get your body ready for amazing sleep by using that simple 3-2-1 rule. So, the final question really is for you. Think about it. What time do you need to wake up tomorrow? Just do the math. Count backward in 90-minute blocks and just give it a try tonight. Are you ready to stop fighting your body's natural rhythm and finally start waking up feeling great?